Right, feeling a lot better from that COVID jab, so I thought I'd get some work done today, Sunday. Got no money, can't do anything up the back, so I thought, well, what job does need doing? And I thought, hang on, gear selector, I've got to move this truck soon, because a young lad who's a van lifer, who's temporarily stuck in his parents' backyard because his engine's packed up, needs my help. A guy called Alex. If I can remember his YouTube name, I'll put it up. But he's going to borrow the hoist, possibly. So I need to get this truck so I can reverse it. Plus the fact I've got some work to do on the front anyway, and I might reposition it in the front garden now. That car that I had, remember the Mini? Well, the Mini's gone, so we have a little bit more room to play with. We'll just have to make the postman walk around the front of the cab. So what I've done is I've cut in at this gear stick a little bit. I haven't gone all the way through, I've just gone halfway round, cleared the paint, and I'm just going to weld up there, weld there. The problem is with these lovely seats, the price I had to pay to have these seats put in is I couldn't engage reverse very well. It was rubbing against this side bolster here. And to be honest, even before I changed these seats, these have been a bit of a problem. The actual stick has been a problem. The rubbers underneath that engages here, there's two, there's one there and there's one over there because it's a remote selector, are really badly worn and they need replacing. So I'm hoping I haven't got to replace the whole gear selector. Otherwise I've got to do this job a second time. But when we get it ready for its ticket, as long as I can engage reverse, we'll worry about this job at a later date. Every single second-hand truck that's been in the scrapyard has got this problem. They split and they just wear out, just through lack of maintenance and keeping clean and tidy, I am assuming. Another job, see the curtain rail, I might put that up today as well and put my Union Jack curtains up. And I might even go as far as trying to hunt out some nice heavy duty wire and get these seats wired in. This seat is a little bit on the high side. I don't know if I'm going to end up having to lower it in its frame. There we go. I feel like I've achieved something today. Reverse. Even when the old seats were in place, that was extremely difficult. Yeah, pleased with that. Even if it is half a mile that way, I was thinking about extending it up, but we don't really need to do that, do we? We're just showing off if we do that. Remember the old trucks? Not only did I get the gear stick sorted out, but I managed to get some material glued up on the head liner. It's not brilliant, but I like that a lot. Very rock and rolly. Well, I think it is anyway. I did muck up the blinking cut on that, unfortunately, so I've got to rethink that. Actually, that's pretty bad all round, but the material came out good. We've just got to cover that back piece now. Right, I've just been to Dunelm, bought myself some Velcro. I finally got my valance in place, which I'm pretty happy about now. She's going the way I planned. That colour is almost perfect match. So yeah, I think, oh, and they also do that red material. I was going to put another sheet of red in there, but it does not work at all. It's too pink. That stuff is perfect. I like that. That works well. So tomorrow I'm going to get some more. I was going to weld the back end up on the lorry, but I've got a bit more work to do to that when I get the batteries charged up before I can really do anything with it. So I thought, well, while we're on this particular subject, we'll get the backing done. We'll take the seats out. We'll push them as far forward as I can get. And we'll glue them all up, and we'll get some of these plastics removed and foam them up, and then put material around them. We'll get these panels done as well in the same material, and pretty much go from there, really. I don't know what to do about that fiberglass on the roof, though. That's a mess. I mean, we could cut a piece of wood out, I suppose, and glue it, and then cover that in the material so it all matches up there. It would look nice, wouldn't it? Oh my God, that went wrong. The colour matched perfectly in Dunelm, but it isn't matching in here. I mean, when the sun's out, that is really pink, that bottom one. My God. I know two of my mates that are going to rip the crap out of me. Oh, brother. That is bad. Okie dokies, guys and girls. I was talking to the audience.
Sorry, I apologise.
I wasn't keen on this, but I'm actually quite chuffed with it now. It's come out okay. She love it. My son has seen it. He don't think that's over the top, but then he's a bit of a fan of the old convoy movies himself, and I grew up in an age where this sort of thing was quite common in lorries, and I think that's come out rather good. I am actually pleased with it. So yeah, I've sent a photo to one of my real sarcastic friends, who, if anyone's going to rib me, it's going to be him, and I just want to see what he comes back with. Right, this is my final day on the cab. I think I am making some emblems to go behind the seats, just to sort of man it up a bit. I test, how can I put this, one of my YouTubers that watch is very critical. I know him personally. He's a lovely lad. He's very critical sometimes. Well, if he sees a chance to make fun, he will lynch me every time. He can't help it, and I do the same to him. We bounce off each other on that. And I thought to myself, before I put this cab up on YouTube, I need a genuine, how can I put it, I need a genuine reaction. So I just took 3 photos, plastered it up on his Instagram with your opinion. That is it, all I left. And he come back to me and he says to me, look like a porno set, but it looks good. I thought, okay, that's a way better response to what I was expecting. But then he said it looked like a mosque at the front because of the trim stuff. I said, but that's old school. That's just what they used to do in the 80s. So I ain't worried about that. I like what I done. I can now handle the comments from you guys. The wife absolutely adores it, and what the wife likes, wife gets. That's as simple as that. So just to break it up a bit and make it more manly, I can't sew these. I don't have a sewing machine. If I had one, I would. But I've cut out some triangles. We've got some strips. They'll be folded and then sewn on to edge them up. So as the black breaks up, the black will break it up because there's a red backing on the truck anyway. We've got the Union flag in the middle. We've got the black edging, which will be folded over and stitched along the side there. And then the end result, because I bought this for the truck to go in there, but it didn't look right. I just went a little bit over the top. This will be sewn on that edge like so. And that's basically it, really. Obviously it'll be framed off like that, and we'll put some eyelets in and we'll screw it to the back plating of the lorry, and then at a later date I can get myself a badge or something to go on there, like Renault or some trike club I'm into, or anything can go on it, even a van life patch if I can find some. I've been looking for those. I'm actually debating about making a few of these with manufacturing names on them, like Ford, Iveco, Citroen and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, and put them on my YouTube channel for sale. But I don't know, they'll take each one will take about an hour to knock up. It'll take a lot of time, and the return on them isn't that great, 20 quid each. But if the materials come in more than that, then they'll have to be more, and if they're more than that, then they ain't going to sell, are they? Because I've seen some on the internet that are way cheaper than what I can knock them out for. Right, I've just bought this little beastie of a sewing machine. It cost me quite a bit of money. When I brought it home, it wasn't working. I've now found out why. The spring tensioner on it is shot. Proper industrial, goes like the bleeding clappers, I tell you. And I've just made these 2 little pendants to go above the passenger and driver's door. I won't lie, I don't like these bauble things. I'm thinking about cutting them off. I've just got to put some eyelets in each side on each one, and then that can be screwed on. And I've never ever sewn something together as elaborate as this. Now, yeah, I know I should have used yellow on a background of yellow instead of red, and I know I should have put black on there, and I know I should have got the lines a lot neater. Hey look, this is the first time I've ever done something like this, and I think that's pretty good going for what it is. Right, that's the space, and that's what I had in mind. Something like that, just above my head, one each side. Has gone a little bit too far, this hasn't it? I think this is a little bit too far. My bloody valance fell down and the sun has just heated the glue up, so I've got to screw that bugger back in place. But now I've got the industrial sewing machine, and I just obviously need to get a bit more skill. There is nothing stopping me from attempting to cover these in leather. Wanted to weld it up. It's so hot in here. Any sparks that fall on any sawdust is likely to catch fire. Can't spray water everywhere, obviously. So I don't really know what to do at the moment. Spent all my money on the sewing machine, to be honest. They're up. There you go. I am actually liking this. A bit of a strange old colour, this. Just trying to climb down. There you go. Unfortunately, I've had food poisoning for the last 2 days and I haven't been able to do very much. Stomach cramps have been really bad. But we're getting over it now. So I'm hoping to try and dig up some material today, and I'm going to make a curtain, or I'm going to convert a curtain. A little trick I'm going to try. I don't know if that's going to work, but we're going to get an old t-shirt with a print on it. We're going to cut that print out and try and stitch that on in the centre of the curtain somehow. Maybe use that felt as a backing for the picture, and then maybe trim it off around the outside edges, and then at a later date get some more of that stuff. Maybe not, I don't know, right? But I want to put a curtain there to hide that up. I've got that load of that velvet left, so I'm going to line that wood with it, and up there as well I want to line that, and possibly the last of this stuff I want to cover that fiberglass because I don't like it. We don't want the grey. All these panels come off down here, and I'm thinking about using the same stuff on these bottom panels, and then these centre console panels I'm thinking about spraying them up in that red. I've got a little bit of that left over. I think we can get away with that. And then the leather, sorry, the cab itself, because all I'll be left with, I'm just climbing in, all I'm going to be left with is a reasonably simple shape that goes round like that. This bit here can be filled with foam because I want to put a console on here for these. I've got to stop it from bagging up. I'm very good at this. Bagged up again.
What, you do anything?
Can
Cool.
you like concentrate on that?
I've got the camera. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the only cotton we got, and it's the only cotton that's strong enough to take this thing. I've tried normal cotton, and you know, using a regular machine, and all it does is just bust every time. The tensioner isn't very good on this, but I have found that you can buy these, even though this thing dates back to the bloody 50s. You can still buy replacement parts. That's what that rip is.
Do you want me to pull the curtain or anything?
No, I've got it, don't worry.
Okay.
It's a mess. It really is a mess. I have not done a very good job of that, but this is our between the cab curtain, and it's shabby as anything. That is actually an old t-shirt on a pillowcase background, and it bagged up, and it's just horrendous. But I am an amateur. I have never done anything like this before, apart from those flags, which I'll be honest didn't come out that great either, but I'm happy enough with them. So yeah, that's the best I can come up with. I think I need to tidy those edges up a bit better, and that rip up here is not flipping hidden, but I thought I'd got that, but I haven't. I'll just try and disguise it somehow. If not, we'll just have to throw it in the bin and start again. That is the best I can come up with, and that ain't very good, if I'm honest. It ain't very good at all, but that might look better. So if I put some gold tassels going down each side of that, that's what you got. But I do need to neaten this up somehow. I just don't know how at the moment. I mean, the thought is there. Maybe I'm going too far with it, who knows. I've got to line all of this lot up, and up here I'm going to use this felt up there with black cross, and then I'll see if I can find a sew-on patch that says "In God We Trust." I've now got to put a liner in, so the camera's about to die and I needed a bit more footage, so you got it. Catch up with you later. Okay, battery went yesterday. This hasn't come out anywhere as good as I'd like it, but then I don't know how to sew, so I don't pretend to be an expert on this, so forgive me ladies that are watching. I'm not very good at this at all. I used industrial strength cotton, and I managed to rip a hole when I had to unpick it. I lost my temper with it, didn't I? So I had to darn that up. As my old mother said, it's zigzagging, so I had to do all of that. Terrible. It's terrible. The question is, do I use it or do I throw it? Here's the thing. If I don't use it, the hole that this is covering will stay a hole for a very long time. If I put this up and it looks as silly as I think it's going to look, it'll encourage me to make something else or buy something to fit the gap. I have been thinking about getting more of that gold trimmy stuff and maybe lining it up down the side. That has been going through my mind. That would tidy the edges up. The dye didn't take very well. Took on the back, that was all white. Sorry, that bit there was all white. I took that, but that was the only bit it did. It did revive the colour a little bit. It was really dull and gone, sun bleached. The patch, which happens to be a t-shirt, rippled up. My old mum said it would, and she was right. It really rippled up. So all in all, it's disaster. But this is my first attempt at a curtain, or at least altering one. So I'm going to put it up. If I can find something to put across there, like a patch, I will. You know, like a name patch, because I might go biker with it. You know, across the top and across the bottom. Because that's what I'm into. I'm a biker. Or should I say a triker? We'll say a triker. 3 wheels is not exactly a bike. So all in all, this is the best I could come up with. Hey, I tried, and that's the main thing in life, in my opinion, because if you don't try, you don't succeed. It's as simple as that. So yeah, gold trim around the outside. Can't do that today, got no more money left, and I want that hole covered for the time being, and I'm going to spend the rest of the afternoon cleaning out that cab and this felt I've got under here, this stuff. I'm going to do some lining with that and go from there. We've got to somehow find a way of putting that back up, but I think Monday, we'll leave that till Monday. I'm going to go down the yard and see if I can find some curtain rails out of some lorries, because they're pretty bent, and some screws, and screw that back up so it's permanent. That sticky stuff, that sticky back Velcro with the heat out there, it's just not holding. It was falling apart, so I gave up with it. This whopping great curtain rail that I bought to go right across that back area, because I was going to, originally I wasn't going to cover all of this, you see. I was going to put one big Union Jack flag up there, curtain, but it didn't work out in the end. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to cut that down, and I'm going to fit it about here so it ends there. It's going on this cardboard. It isn't the strongest of material. if I'm honest with you. We've got to get some aluminium trim at some point to put behind here. I'd like to try and cover this bit as well, but the foam I'm using, I don't know if that's going to work very well because it's honeycombed. It isn't very good for the job. I was going to put that felt around it and then tack it up and then eventually get some aluminium trim for that as well. But when I made all of this, you see, I put these edges in there and I did the edging wrong on one of them, so how well that will come out, I don't know. I'm not redoing it, so, and I'd like to cover that, but we need an emblem for that as well, and I again don't know what to do. If I've got enough scrap lying around, I might be able to put, say, like a cross up there with some, and I've got another t-shirt lying around with some skulls, so we could do something similar to that. I want to readjust that piece up there because that's also gone wrong. That bit across, it's hang on, just let me think there. That piece there, it's a bit crap, but it is coming out okay. The colour is a bit bright and cheerful. It isn't what I had in mind when I did this, but I don't know. Everyone has their own take on this. You know, I've flashed it around a few people, the interior, some of the most sarcastic ones I know, and the feedback hasn't been too bad. Matt reckons that look really heavy rock style. Moya, a friend of mine around the corner, he reckons it's porn, as he put it, porn star's pad. Another friend of mine around the corner there, it was trying to say 1970s village people. But at the end of the day, who cares? It'll take a brave man to steal this lorry, that's what I'm going to say. So we'll carry on with what we're doing, sod it. If I don't like it, I can always rip it down, can't I, and throw it away and start again. But yeah, what I also would like to do, and we've been thinking about this quite a lot, and the only thing that's got me stuck is this panel up here because it's such hard work to pull down. It really is. I'd like to spray paint all of this, as I probably explained once already, and I want to put a PVC cover over that, but I've got to be very careful how I do that. It's an awkward shape over there, and it may be a two-piece stitch, and I've got to learn to stitch in a straight line to do it. We know that this glue doesn't hold very well under heat, and there's going to be well, this is red hot, that would melt that glue straight away, so I've got to find a glue that's strong enough to take the sun. We do have a panel here that comes off, so we could spray that black and tuck the PVC under that and hide it that way. We're also going to put foam over this bit as well and make a box to go over the top for the monitors and the stereo system. So yeah, it's definitely a bit busy, and I don't like the looseness of that, so I'm going to add a few more clips that I've got somewhere around here just to strengthen it up. But with all things considered, the mess that I had actually made of it, it didn't come out too bad. Now, I didn't want to pull the cord at the top to ripple it, because it would ripple the picture up. It's just a backdrop really, to hide the hole, and some, you know, draw that across during the night, and I'll show you what it's like on the inside. Hang on. Totally sealed off now. I actually like that. I hate to admit it, but I do. I actually like that a lot because it all blends in with the seating area. I think I might do something very similar up there with red material, but this time I'll pad it because we've got to insulate it anyway. And the space is small, we're going to be whacking our heads. And I think what I'm going to do is a proper 70s style up there, and I'm going to pad it all out and button it if I can find some buttons. So what we'll do is we'll put polystyrene up on those ceilings because it's flexible, not because of it being cheap, because it isn't, but it is flexible. And we'll put plywood over the top of that, and I'm going to try, if I can, the battens to hold the ply in place. I'm going to try and lock them in together. I can't really glue them anywhere because of the muck up on that ceiling line, but I'll try and lock the battens in all those grooves that you see which will be very difficult, but we'll push one up against there, we'll push another one, sorry, one up in that groove there, we'll go across there, we'll seal them in, we'll put props up everywhere to try and hold them. It'll take a few days for that stuff to dry. We'll get that window, if I can figure out how it comes out, detached, and we'll put plywood around here, and using the original blue material up there as patterns, we'll try and get some material put in place with foam, and then we'll pad it all out with buttons, and I think that would look kind of crazy and cool. But it get very hot up here when the sun is on it. There's no insulation, so it's not guarding it from the heat, and I'd imagine in the winter it will get very cold up here as well, although the blower that I've got hidden down in that cupboard heat rises. So yeah, I guess it's a case of just watch this space and see where we go with it. This is going to be the last room that I do anyway, and we've also got to seal that window up because it's leaking quite miserably, but because we've got more painting to do, I thought I got it done, but I haven't. Because I've got more painting to do, I can't do anything with it yet. So next job on the list is just a question of whether I do that now or later, but I want to sort out that wood. But the curtain needs more detail. Definitely needs more detail. So I think I might go online and get some biker patches purchased, and go from there really. I've got some sitting in the shed, rallies that I've been to and stuff. Yeah, okay, it's not quite, maybe it'd be better if that was black instead of this rubbish. I tried to dye it to get it as close to this colour as I possibly could, but it weren't happening. So more brackets. Okay, I think we're going to call it on the video because I haven't got any aluminium trim to put down the edges to finish this all off, and I'll just be bodging it to get the video done. So I'm going to call it on this Monday, Tuesday, or whenever I get some more dough. I'm going to get some more bits and pieces together to finish this curtain off. Unless I find some material that looks better than that, then I'll remake the whole thing all over again. But other than that, yeah, it kind of works. I'm not so pleased with the way that went, but and it's gone on wonky as well. But hey ho, I'm an amateur at all of this. I'd like to peel that all back actually and put foam behind that and button everything, the whole lot. I'd love to do that. I think that would look more 70s if I did that than the way I've left it at the moment. So yeah, I would say that is it. We are done. I'll just climb out of the passenger side and see if I can get you a better shot. Quick update before I disappear and upload this. That curtain is definitely going. We were, well, I wasn't. Wife was going through some bags, and guess what? She found some more material which was a deeper colour than that, which I told her we had, and she said we haven't, and I said look, I have, and she says we haven't, and now I've done all of this and stitched it together, we have. So yeah, we're going to pull that all apart later on when I decide what I'm doing with the rest of the interior cab in the means of starting the next job on it. I'm going to pull that down, rip that curtain guide thing off the top and restitch that on the new material and make a whole new one up. I'm going to get some patches ordered, some nice pictures to sew on there, and I'm going to do this properly. And it's been a good learning curve. One thing I did learn is don't try and pull the stitching apart when you're using industrial strength, because it just shreds the rubbish out of everything. So yeah, that's it, we're gone, we're out of here.